Welcome to the SA Capital Partners Deal Showcase. Today we are sitting down with Samuel and Mitch of Solvari. Mitch, Samuel, thanks for sitting down with us today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Okay,
Pleasure.
great. So why don't you guys first start, shed a little bit more color in terms of Solvari and give us a little bit more of an understanding in terms of what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah. I've been in the solar industry for 23 years. And during that time, residential rooftop has seen some small incremental improvements, but nothing that has really pushed the needle on cost reduction to the homeowner. With all my experience, I brought that to bear on how we can change that. And the what came out of that investigation was an all-in-one solar panel product. And been working on that concept, and we have flushed it all out, and it's market ready. And we've gotten it into the hands of quite a few customers, and they all love it. And it's been very well received. And we are meeting all of our benchmarks. And as far as the product performance and you know, everything that we said it would do, it does. And it's been really positive feedback. We've been open up a lot of new markets to solar beyond just the solar contractors, which is really exciting. So roofers, electricians, home builders, modular home builders, DIY resellers, direct to homeowners. We've just really opened up what the market is for solar, which we believe will have a significant impact in adoption of solar. And when we bring on more competitiveness into the market, we know we're going to be able to reduce the cost to the homeowner. And
Right.
that's our plan.
What are some differentiators in terms of your solar panel compared to other ones on the market right now?
Yeah. Uh, when we say all in one, we mean that everything up on the roof that you need to install the solar panels on board our solar panel. So with other technology, traditional technology, the way we've been doing it for 25 years, is you bring all of these parts and components. It's usually around 450 individual parts and components have to be brought up onto the roof, and then they construct everything up on the roof. And what we've done, we said, well, why are we doing it that way? Instead, let's factory build the solar array onto the modules themselves, the solar panels themselves. And when you bring it up to the roof, it's ready to go. It has everything on it you need. So instead of 450 parts, all you bring up are the solar panels, screw them down, electrically connect them, and you're done. So obviously this is much faster. What typically takes all day for an installation crew that is very experienced can be done in an hour with Solvari. And you don't even have to have solar experience to hit that time benchmark because there's nothing to do. I mean, we say it's easier to do a Solvari system than it is to build an IKEA dresser. I mean, you look at the instruction manuals for installing or building an IKEA dresser, and there's way more to it than the Solvari, which is bring it to the roof, pull the release sheets off the flashing tape, screw it down, and electrically connect them together, and you're done. So we've really made it easy. And then the other thing we've done is instead of having all of the assembly happening up on the roof, we're using factory controlled assembly and manufacturing. And so we're removing and eliminating a lot of the opportunities for quality issues. And then again, it comes back to the quality of the installation. I mean, you can get a high quality solar installation done today, or you might not. And it all depends on the quality of the installation crew, how they're feeling that day. And Solvari eliminates those variables so that every system that's a Solvari system is a high quality, reliable installation every time, no matter who's installing it. And so for the marketplace, you can see as a consumer, that's really attractive. And then as a business owner, that's attractive because you're not going to get the callbacks, the angry customers, the homeowners. You're not going to fail inspections. And so as a business owner, then it becomes lower liability to use the Solvari system than to do it the way they've been doing it.
Got it. What are some of the current challenges that your guys are currently facing?
Well, we have two challenges. One is capital. And when we're talking about our business model, we're bringing in the solar panel and the microinverter. We have to buy those, carry it, transform it into our solar panel, and then sell it. And so the incoming inventory is a big, we have to account for that. So that is one of our. We know how to do this. We know how to get around this. One of the reasons why we brought on Mitch is, because we have in our industry connections with people who have solved this problem. And I'm a hardware guy, and I've seen it done several times, so I'm not worried about it. But it is something that we always are going to have to deal with. And then the other one is component supply. Right? We talked about these two key components, so the solar panel and the power electronics or the microinverter. And we have to be cognizant of that from a supply chain perspective. It's none of them are red flags. We just converted over, for example, we can use any module manufacturer and any power electronics manufacturer. So our initial out the gate product from our panel manufacturer is 365 watts. We're going to be cutting over to a new panel manufacturer who's going to give us basically the same sized product, but 410 watts. So a much higher, we get 2% or 10% increase in power output for the same square footage, right? So it's a risk. It's something we always need to be cognizant of, but it's also an opportunity if we manage it properly, like we have with the solar panel.
So you obviously touched on, obviously the lack of capital. So what exactly will the proceeds be utilized for,
Yeah.
in terms of where you guys are at?
Yeah. So let's talk about the capital. So the capital is going to be funded with purchase order financing, and also we are looking for, once we get going, we'll do SBA loans, excuse me. And commercial bank loans, right? But we have to get going. We have to get the ball rolling for 6 months before we're going to have access to those. So purchase order financing is how we're going to get started. But what that does is it does limit our initial growth, right? But that's how we're going to fund our incoming inventory. So the investment money is, first we have to cover our operating expenses, right? We're very slim crew, but we do have to, and everyone works really hard and we get the most out of them, but we do need to pay those salaries. Second is we need to move into a permanent facility for assembly. Right now we're in a temporary facility. So we need some of the funds for that. We also are kicking off a very key initiative for our highest margin demographic, which is the contractors outside of solar installers. So this is like roofers, electricians, and home builders. These are a really nice market for us. They're a higher margin market for us. And they're very, very eager to get the Solvari panels. And while our hardware makes the installation really streamlined and simple, which is why they want to adopt it. So these are folks that wouldn't get into solar before that are saying now we will with the Solvari panel. So we've handled the hardware piece, but we need the software piece. And this is the sales tools, the financing tools, and the permitting package tools. And one of the reasons we brought Mitch on board is to build out that tool suite. Now, that doesn't mean we develop all of these tool suites ourselves. That would be really expensive. We know that there are tons of commercially available tools. And what we need to do is find the best ones and then incorporate them into our ecosystem. And Mitch is spearheading that effort. And so there are funds going to that as well.
Right.
And that's mostly where the funds go.
I know you've touched on Mitch's background a little bit, so I'd love to learn a little bit more about, obviously a little bit more about your background, a little bit more about Mitch's background as well.
Yeah. So, I've been in the solar industry for over 23 years. I came in as an engineer, so product development, design, testing, and reliability. But I've also always worked at startups, or most of it has been at startups. And I've seen them go from nothing to being purchased, and it's been a great experience. But when you work at a startup, you do more than just engineering. So I have a lot of experience across the organization. So this is quality manager, operations, shipping and receiving, certification. It's basically, if there's anything that needs to be done in the company, I've done it. And then in 2016, I started my own business venture, my first business venture, which was an engineering firm where we did product development for solar companies. So we would help them develop and launch their own products. And so, giving my manufacturing background, my product development background, it was a really, really good fit. And before I started my first business venture, my last like career job working for another company was at Sun Edison, which is where I met Mitch. And so I think we'll let Mitch take it from here.
Yeah, so I myself have been in the solar industry 17 years, a little over 17 years now. In This is my third startup within the solar industry. Um, the most recent of which was FTC Solar, that was launched in February of 2017. And in 4 years from that date, we were able to launch a successful IPO at over $1 billion valuation. So, been through that ride from inception and who are we to, building a company that's selling real products and providing real value in the industry. So, really, really excited to come aboard and be a part of the Solvari team. Everything Samuel mentioned, I think, is spot on in terms of, just making solar more accessible, more transparent, more affordable for homeowners. And I think, we have a really exciting opportunity to, be a differentiator in the residential solar industry. I, come from a physics background, and have always been kind of on the technical side of the industry. But as Samuel mentioned, I've done a lot. I've been a project manager out in the field. I've been a product manager, and I've managed massive engineering teams, doing things like proposals and sales tools and permit design plan sets. And so that background is really going to be applicable in developing and identifying the tools that we're going to need to develop at Solvari to support our customers who aren't necessarily experts in the solar industry, but are experts at building stuff. But having those support tools so a roofer can put together a compelling proposal for a homeowner and get through the permitting and design process of a Solvari system on that homeowner's roof. That's going to be really important to enabling the contractors, the roofers, the home builders, even the proficient DIYers to adopting solar and making it easy for them, which is a big part of this mission. So yeah.
Right. So I guess the $1 million question is, why invest into Solvari?
Well, there's two main reasons. One is both Mitch and I got into solar a long time ago because we're compelled to have a positive impact on fighting climate change and helping in every way we can to make our environment livable for future generations. So we're both highly motivated, and anyone who's been in the industry as long as we have, that's pretty much the case. We're kind of the old guard. The second is, I'm an engineer. I'm creative. I want to save the planet, yes, but at the end of the day, I'm a businessman. And, I do believe that if you are not going to make money doing it, then don't do it. Go find another venture. And that's why I've invested over $1.5 million of my money into getting Solvari going, right? I funded the pre-seed round. That's why we have a viable product that's out in the field and meeting expectations. And I would not have invested my money in that if I didn't believe of the value proposition.
Well, Samuel, Mitch, thank you for giving us a deeper understanding into Solvari.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.